Well, as you can see, we've had a bit of a change around in here. Funny enough, today's Thursday morning and the video comes out tonight and I'm still recording it. It's been one of them weeks. You'll notice now there has been a change. There is the machine missing. The shaper is gone. The shaper's gone out to Trevor's place. I haven't been using it at all. For the last job I done was a job for Curtis there at Cutting Edge Engineering. I haven't turned it on since. Trevor, a good mate of mine, he has mentioned a few times he'd like that machine. He'd like to find one, and so he's got one for his workshop. And Trevor's got the same lathe as me and the same little mill. So the other day I said to him, look, if you want it, it's there, take it. So we done a bit of a deal, and I spent a couple of days reorganising this place. Took it out, set him up, set all the shaper up in his workshop, and got him cracking on that. And it's going to be a benefit to Trev, massive benefit to Trevor. So I've made a shitload more room in here, absolutely ton more room. If you remember, the mill was, that little mill was in the middle. You bring a car, like you bring one of the utes in here to work on it or whatever, and it's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, a bit of a change in here, which has been fantastic. And the shaper being out at Trev's, if I ever need to cut a keyway or do a job with the shaper, it's always there. I can go and use it whenever I want. That's the deal there. That's why I never got much done this week, because I was just been fiddling around with that and rearranging this place, and getting shit all in one sock. So geez, it's nice to have room now. You walk in, you've got space. How cool's that? Over in that corner, it's still a bit of a shit show. The two engines are over there, the jackhammer's over there. They're going to get shifted into one of my other little garden sheds I got here. Get them out of here, so I can actually drive through again, which is something I've been... If I want to bring my Commodore in to do a service on the Commodore, I've got to shift everything from that end of the workshop to the other end so I can bring the Commodore in the front door. So once the engines are gone and the jackhammer's gone, I only have the engine crane, the trolley, which I can put in the middle here and still be able to drive a car in, or one of the utes in, and be able to work on them, which is going to be a massive improvement again. So I was starting to get a bit clustered up, and now I've bit the bullet and made a bit of a change, which was something that needed to happen. So this week's video is going to be another part in the crane. I was hoping to get the crane finished this week, but just the way everything worked out, it's not going to happen. Like I say, it's Thursday morning. I've still got to edit the video. I'm trying to get out by 6 o'clock tonight. As you'll see in a minute, the crane is mounted. I've got that mounted onto the trailer. All I've got to do is beside me, I've got the power pack. I've got to mount that. So probably go until dinner time. Get what I can done, and then next week I'll have it buttoned up and finished off. So I do apologise. This has gone sort of a couple of videos more than what it should have done, but that's the way it is. Shit happens. Anyway, I better get into it, pull my finger out and have a crack, because this here is going to have a 3/4 hole in it, or fraction over 3/4, for the pin to go through. Now this is where the hook's going to go on the end of the extension. So it'll have a radius on this end. This end's be cut at a 45 and welded to the the end of the extension. Anyway, I'll get this drilled out, and I'm just going to bore it to a fraction over 3/4, so the pin's got a little bit of flop. Almost sharpened that drill all right. One of them days again, everything's fallen. Okay, off camera I radius the end of them, just with the angle grinder. You didn't miss much, I can assure you. This has to be cut at a 45 now. And so does the end of the extension. These can be welded on. Okay, I've got 2 plates in here together, held in with a clamp, because the vise on this bandsaw sort of needs a fair bit of modifying, I think. You can't cut short lengths at 45, it's a pain in the ass. It's not cutting badly for square. Okay, I've got all that clamped up onto the end. Yeah, I'm going to weld all that up and I'll show you when it's all done. Got a jack in there with another clamp so I can't push or pull. Rightio, well we got that welded on, as you can see. Still got to clean it up with a bit of a flap disc or sand disc. It's all welded on solid. Got it set up in a little mill now, got the whole arm set up. I'm going to put the hole in for the pin. Obviously clamp this one in place. It's probably end up sitting about there. Drill a hole straight through. Then I'm going to move it out a foot. Roughly a foot, drill another hole. Then roughly another foot, drill another hole. That's going to give me a 7-footer stick. So that should be good. But, that's where we're up to. So I'm going to put a 3/4 pin through here. Going to drill it one size above 3/4, 64th above, just so it's got a little bit of free play. Once it's all anchored down into the trailer when it's not being used, there'll be probably a little bit of tension on it, so it's not going to sit there and flog. Anyway, it should be good. Anyway, I'm going to get this all centered up and drill the holes. Decided I was going to go 3/4 pin, but I don't know why. I'm just going to go 9/16. Okay, I can shift this extension out a foot, another hole, shift it out a foot, another hole, and we're good to go. Done. What it is what it is. Well, I've just finished and put that end cap in there, welded it up, just sanded it off roughly. It's still pretty hot too, just quietly. But that's our extension done. So technically this bit's finished now. I've just got to machine up a pin instead of using a bolt. I'll machine up a pin that's a little bit closer fitting, and just to take a little lynch pin on the end of it, and that'll be done. And then I think we're up to actually mounting it on the trailer. Rightio, so this, I'm up to the mounting stage. Taking the first 3 boards out. Already got a hole here where it mounts in the bottom of the base. Got to put a couple of subframes in, so some real heavy wall box section. This is one there, and then one around here. Goes through, and then it'd be bolted up underneath into the base of the crane. These will be welded in, obviously each end, and bolted in, and that's about all it's going to get. The old man wants it to be have the base so it can be taken right off, so it's back to a dead flat deck again, and not have a stem in the corner. So if someone wants to cut a bit of hay or whatever they want to do with it, it's just a flat deck. So that's where we're up to. So probably not going to show much of this, mounting this in, because really it's only just a matter of mounting 2 of these box sections in, weld them in, and that's done. Once they're in and the holes are already drilled and everything, then I'll drill up from underneath through the board, and then everything's aligned. Rightio, so a bit of a catch up where I'm up to. I've had a pretty busy morning with some visitors, which has been good. Been good catching up with a few mates. These 2 braces are in, subframe if you want to call it that. Holes have been put in, and the top part of the hole has been opened up and a bush made, so when the bolt does up it doesn't squash the box section. I've reinforced this edge piece, this piece of flat on the edge here, like welded it up a bit more solid. This is going to be welded across here in sections, welded end to end, and I may even put a gusset under this one, just a bit of extra strength, I don't know. Apart from that, we're pretty much just cruising along nicely. Oh, it's all welded in, it's all stitched across the front, welded here, down the sides. I don't think it's going to go very far. If it busts them out, well, shouldn't have a crane on it. I hope it don't bust out. Anyway, I'm going to give it a coat of jam. Might still a bit warm, might bake it on a little bit. When I go to put the boards back in, I just have to run the grinder along the edge of the board just to put a bevel on it. And job's done. Well, it's on there. Solid. One casualty. It's bolted on in 4 spots in each corner. That turned out to be a bit of an ordeal. But anyway, it's on there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Goes around here. See the, I don't know if you can see the bolt in the corner there. That's where I originally, something to point with. Remember I originally put a couple of holes in it. I actually plugged them and welded them up. From the bottom side obviously, so I just wasn't happy where they were, but there's a bolt in that corner, bolt in this corner, and bolt in the front 2 corners. So that's it, the bastard's mounted. Well, that concept works. It slews around. Now I can concentrate on putting the power unit on the front with the hydraulic lines and so on. Okay, I've gone ahead and built a cradle for the power unit. So the whole thing's bolted on, so when you take it off, or when Dad takes it off, there's only these 2 lugs that'll be left on here. There's 3 bolts through here, 1 in the middle, 2 on the outside, and yeah, just up on the lugs. That's quite sturdy. I'll set the power unit up there and you'll see I haven't drilled the holes to bolt it down yet. I've got to put some rubber under it as well. Yeah, that's done. So that's what it looks like with the power unit on the front. I don't personally like it, to be honest. It's just not doing it for me. But that's the best place for it for ease of use. It's got to go back a little bit yet too. There it is. Just got to drill the 4 holes, 2 bits of rubber underneath each foot, or a bit of rubber under each foot, and then bolt that down. I can take that off and paint that now, and that's finished. And then all I got to do then is make the hydraulic hoses up, and that's done. There is one other item I've got to make, is a leg that comes off the corner here somewhere. So when the crane's been used, yeah, it's got a leg down to the ground to stabilise it. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Yeah, that's sort of got me a bit bamboozled at the moment, so I'll worry about that over the weekend sometime. But overall, it's coming along alright. Now I do apologise, I've skipped over building this, but we've all seen I just made up as I went, just out of the material I had laying around. But anyway, it is what it is, and I don't think it's going to fall off in a hurry. Hope not anyway.